Okay, hello everyone. My name is Rama and welcome to our class. So right now we are going to learn how to describe places using adjective, adjective phrases, and also adjective clauses. These elements will help you write descriptive text. So the first that we are going to discuss is about what is a descriptive text. Okay, so first let's review what a descriptive text is. Okay, so a descriptive text is a type of text used to describe a person, place, or animal in detail so the reader can imagine it clearly. But because this is about describing place, so our scope will be about place, of course. We are not going to describe a person, animal, or any other thing. So descriptive text has two structures. The first one is identification. This introduces the thing or the person being described. As you can see at the example right over here, Borobudur Temple is a famous historical site located in Magelang, Central Java. It is the largest Buddhist temple in the world and one of the most popular tourist destinations in the country. I have highlighted some of the words in the slide. The first one is about Borobudur Temple. It is about the name of the place, of course. And also, you can see located in Magelang. This is talking about the location of the place, which is in Magelang. And the last is tourist destination. So the meaning of this is the role of the place. This place is a recreation place that suitable for tourists to come. Okay, the next one is description. This part gives detailed information about the subject, like its appearance, characteristic, atmosphere, functions, and so on. As you can see, the example right over here is quite longer than the identification part. Okay, Borobudur Temple stands proudly on a hill surrounded by green trees and mountains and so on, etc. And now we are going to move to the language feature. The first one is the use of adjective to describe places. The first one we have size. Size means ukuran. There are big, small, huge. And the second one is about appearance. Meaning is about penampakan atau penampilan. The examples are beautiful, messy, or clean. The third is feeling or atmosphere. Suasana. It could be peaceful, noisy, and romantic. The fourth is color. Maybe there's a color that you can use to describe that certain place. Color, of course, warna. There are green, blue, golden, red, so on. And the last is location. It is not about the name of the location, but like the placement, like near what, far from where, and central of which place, like that. And the second is the use of simple present tense. So why we are using simple present tense? Because descriptive text talking about the talking about facts or things that are always true about the place. So when you are describing a certain place, you don't have to talk about the history of the place. You just mention what it is as today. And this is the example of the whole uh, of a whole descriptive text with the scope of describing place. Well, I'm using Borobudur because I think it's kind of popular and, of course, too general. So you guys can know what kind of place is this. I've mentioned about the language feature earlier. One of the language feature of descriptive text is about adjective. But do you guys know that we can make an adjective becomes longer? It could be a phrase and it also could be a clause. Let's start with adjective phrase first. As you can see, this is a phrase, but it contains adjective as the head. Now, adjective phrase is a group of words that describes or modifies a noun. It works like a single adjective in a sentence, but it can include additional words such as modifier. So the position of adjective phrase, it could be before the noun, after the noun, coordinated or cumulative. Let's start with a simple one. Okay, simple adjective phrase. The structure is you have to add determiner or intensifier and also, of course, adjective as the head. For example, that very dirty trash is mine. The word that is the determiner and the word very is the intensifier. Dirty is, of course, the adjective itself. Let's talk about the determiner first. Okay, there are three types of determiner. The first one is article, and it specifies whether the noun is specific or general. For example, there is the and a. Do you guys know what is the difference between the and a? You can use the or the to mention something specific. For example, Rama, open the door please. It is specific which door, that door or this door. Everybody knows which door I have ordered to open. But if I say, Rama, open a door please, it is not specific which door I was mentioned about. It could be the door in my house, the door in the classroom, or which door. Okay, the second one is demonstrative. It is points out or specifies which noun is. For example, this book, that book, those book. Okay, the last is quantifier. It shows the noun. It shows the quantity or amount of the noun. Some means beberapa. Many means banyak. Few means sedikit. Several the same like some. Let's we move to the next. It is about intensifier. Intensifier means something that you can use to strengthen the adjective. For example, the very dirty trash is piling up. All of these examples have the same meaning, very, really, extremely, and so. But what if we want to use the opposite? We can use something like little bit or less, like less dirty, a little bit dirty instead of the very dirty. So coordinated adjective phrase is quite simple. It is just two adjectives combined and separated by "and" or. Like the smelly and dirty trash is mine. But the adjectives have to be equal, like smelly and dirty, or big and strong. And you cannot use something like big and small because big and small is something that contradict each other. So it's contrast, and you cannot use something like that. And the last example of adjective phrase is cumulative. Have you learned about the SASCOM before, the adjective order? You might have learned that when learning about noun phrase. It is the same, but the head is the adjective. As you can see at the structure, adjective plus adjective plus adjective. Like the small, overflowing old dumpster. This is the order. We have determiner, opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, and purpose. Let's take a look at the example. I have a beautiful big old square black Japanese wooden table. It's quite confusing, isn't it? Yes. And now we're moving on to adjective clause. It is more complicated because phrase is just a group of words, but clause has its own structure, subject and verb. But the role is as an adjective. Okay. So adjective clause is a group of words like subject and verb, like I have mentioned before, that acts as an adjective to describe or provide more information about the noun in the main clause of a sentence. Okay, we can use some relative pronouns such as who, whom, whose, which, or that. All of these pronouns have different use. Let's start with the relative pronoun. Okay, we have who, people. It is people as a subject. The teacher who teaches us English is kind. Now, when we want to use who, we have to decide if the noun at the front is doing the verb. Okay, in this example, the teacher is the one who's doing the verb teaches. So it means the teacher is the subject of this sentences of the sentence. So we are going to use the relative pronoun of who. Okay. In the second example, we have whom. Okay. The man whom you met is my uncle. The noun at the from, the man, is not the one who is doing the verb met, but the noun you is the one who is doing the verb met. So the man is the subject. Therefore, we are using the pronoun whom. Okay. And the third one, we have possession of whose. The boy whose bike was stolen cried. It shows a possession. And which usually used for animals or thing. You can use this for animals or thing as the subject or the object. For example, the book which I bought yesterday is interesting. The book in here is the object, and I is the subject. And the last we have that. Okay, we can use this to we can use this for people or things, and of course it can act as a subject or an object. But this is the informal version of who or which, so it will be better for you to use who or which instead of that. For example, the dress that she wore was beautiful. We can replace the noun dress with people. And then next we have relative adverb. Relative adverb, I think it is taken from the adverb. We have adverb of place, adverb of time, and also adverb of condition. But we are not going to use the condition one because there are only where, when, and reason. Well, I think for now that's all from me. I hope you can get a new insight from this learning video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.